Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey, hey.
Y'all know what it is. It's Sunday. It is 6 p.m. and we are live on Beyond the Chat. What's going on?
Hey, just here, doing my thing, just waiting for football season to come back.
Oh my goodness. That's all you waiting
I don't know,
for?
Sundays are different now that, football's on. I know people get into basketball, but, it's just something about football. It's like men and women get into football.
I would have to totally agree with you because I'm a football fan.
Right,
Like I
right.
be screaming for the 49ers, like for real. It's not a game. I will fight somebody over the
Yeah,
40. I got everything. 49ers backpack. You know what I have that's
yeah.
49. I don't have to tell you. Yes, I enjoy football.
Yeah, and I think now I don't know what our audience think, but I think more men and women get into football more than men and women get into any other sport.
I agree. I totally agree. I think that football is just like this universal language for like toughness on all levels. Like moms are screaming for their sons. Like I know for a fact when my son was playing in little league and he was like catching the ball and running down the field, I'm running down the field with him. I'm like, come on, boy, get to the finish line. Do it for your mama. They be like, ma'am, can you sit down? I'm like, not till my son make a touchdown. I'm gonna need y'all to just sit back.
Yeah, and all the work that the father put in, coaching and training
Yes.
and all this, when the boy makes some money, what do you say?
What do you say?
I love you, mom. Hi,
Uh-huh.
mom. Thank you, mom.
Listen, first of all, okay, we were, uncomfortable for 9 months. All right. They need to be thanking their mamas. We the
Forever.
reason that they hit.
You're
That's
right.
right.
You're
Okay.
right.
Shout out to the
We the
mamas.
reason for the season.
Okay, listen. I'm your girl, your best friend, your next door neighbor, the one and only Natasha Cash.
And I'm T Dub in the building.
And we are super excited that you have decided to spend your Sunday afternoon chatting with us, chopping it up with us. We have a very special guest that's coming through very shortly. So make sure you stay tuned and stay locked because it's going to be a great conversation. I'm super excited. So listen, I want to start off with my thought of the week, and that is to remember that winners are not people who never fail, but people who never quit. Can I say that again?
Say it one more time.
Okay, let me say it again. So winners are people who are not people who never fail, but they are people who never quit.
Yeah, it's something about, failing. It builds character. And for those that have the drive and the heart to just continue and conquer those failures, they
Yeah,
become winners.
absolutely. And I think people put too much on um the title winning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like if I don't have the gold, if I don't
Hmm.
get the medallion, and if I don't cross the finish line first, then oh, I'm second best, or I'm not a winner, I'm a loser. But I believe that winning, you can be a winner every single day. Whatever you put your mind to, whatever your goals are, whatever you feel like you want to accomplish in life, every step that you take towards getting to that goal is a win.
Right. In other words, if you 20th to last, don't give up. Stay in
Exactly.
the race because eventually you're going to be 15th,
Yeah.
10th,
Yeah.
5th,
That's right.
3rd. Before you know it, you'll be number one.
Absolutely. And steady wins. I'm all for steady. I don't, I'm like, I'm okay with, people moving fast at some things because they're really great at them. But I love someone that's consistent. That's the person that you can count on. That's the person that's
Yeah.
going to be loyal
Hmm.
and committed to making sure that they stay, at a steady
Yeah.
pace. Like
Yeah.
you can always count on a person like that. Somebody that's quick to finish, quick to answer, quick to respond, quick to get it done. It's like, all right, well, what steps did you take? Oh, I remember. But I love someone that takes their time, that's loyal, and that's committed to the process and sees it all the way through to the end. If it takes you 2 years, if it takes you 3 years, if it takes you 10 years, just consistency is awesome.
Yeah. And, winning does feel good,
Yes.
but, like I said, not winning builds character. I see
That's very
Chris
true.
Munn just joined in and said, "Hey, Moses Williams, tell T Dub it's time to bring the Vipers back."
Oh my goodness. I've heard so much. Well, I've been there with you, coaching the Vipers and all that
Yes.
stuff. They absolutely, you know what? Let me just say that these gentlemen absolutely adore you as owner of the Vipers
Mhm.
and just as a coach in general. Like, can you speak to that? Like, what does that take for you to be at an age where grown men are still saying, "Hey, bring it back," for them to have loved it so much? Like, what does that mean to you?
Well, I think treating my players with respect,
Mm-hmm.
giving them respect and demanding respect back
Mm-hmm.
and forth, and not treating them like, I own them, or, I run this and they got to bow down to me.
Yeah,
And, the respect they gave to me by working real hard, it was just a back and forth thing that made a real tight family. And that was my drive at all times is, hey, we don't fight each other. We play hard. We come together. We look out for each other because we are family.
absolutely. And let me tell you, y'all had to be a family because some nights it was cold, some nights it was rainy, some nights it was late, some nights it was wet and muddy. Some nights I mean, sometimes you just don't feel like
Hey,
it.
we had our losses and we had a lot of wins.
Yeah,
We've even made it to a couple championships, and I just love those guys.
that's what's up.
Lots of great history.
Well, hopefully, Christopher Mon will go back and have all the guys to watch this particular video so that they can hear you say that you love all those guys. I've heard nothing but really great things. I love how when we're like riding down the street or we're at the store and somebody starts talking to you, "Hey, coach, what's up, coach?" And you're like, "Man, that was my running back, that was my tight end, that was my quarterback." You talking about somebody that was fast, somebody that was good. I just love how excited you get when you talk about football. So that's awesome.
Yeah, and Chris Mom was one of those guys. He was one of my linemen, but he was one of those kind of guys that's like, "Coach, I'll do anything.
Ooh,
You just let me know. Yeah, I just want to. I just want to touch the ball.
well, I need Chris Mon on our team when it's going down. Okay, so Chris, make sure you on our team when it's going down.
Defense and offense.
Defense.
He's
Okay.
ready. He's ready.
Okay. Come on now.
Yep.
All right. So listen, let's just talk about a few things that's in the news. So first, we want to give our condolences to the family of Mr. Lance Reddick, who passed away just a few days ago at the age of 60 years old. And some of you may know him from The Wire recently. You may also know him from movies like John Wick, Angel Has Fallen, and Resident Evil, just to name a few. It's really sad that what the coroner says that he died of natural causes at 60 years old.
That was a surprise.
A very huge surprise. And his wife has finally spoken out about, his passing. And of course, very devastating to lose your spouse that way, to lose your spouse, period, no matter what the circumstances are, but to for someone that seemed very healthy and very lively and vibrant and full of life and so much life ahead of him. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. So we definitely want to send our condolences to the family of Mr. Lance Reddick, because I know that has to be hard for them to lose him. And he's, he has many fans, right? I know, so many people watch The Wire. It's been on forever. And we are huge fans of the John Wick franchise.
Yeah.
So, and then Angel Has Fallen. That was a really good movie. Really good movie.
It's amazing the people that you see on the screen, but you don't realize how many things they're actually doing.
Exactly. That's very true.
Crazy.
Like I know some of the shows that I watch now, I'll look the person up just to see, oh my gosh, they're a fantastic actor or actress. Let me see what else they're in. And then when I pull them up, it's like, wait, you were in Good Times?
Right.
It's like, wait, hold on, you were on the Jeffersons? Oh,
That's a
wow.
while ago, huh?
You know what? Don't start. Don't try it. If I'm old, you old too. That's all I'm saying. If I'm old, you're older. Okay, let's make sure.
I'm a little older.
No. Okay, well, just as long as you
But
know
yeah,
you're
I remember
older.
when you used to look at Good Times.
I love all those shows. I still do. You roll your eyes sometimes when I watch Jeffersons. First of all, okay, they have a Jeffersons marathon going on today. So let me just tell y'all how much I love y'all, because the Jeffersons, that's my jam, okay? And it's a marathon going on right now, but because we love our podcast viewers and our listeners, we pause for the cause.
You know what the funny thing is?
Oh Lord, what?
No, but no, serious. You would look at the Jeffersons as if you haven't seen the series before. You'd be smiling like, "This is good. This is good." And then you'll say, "Watch this."
Okay, first of all, because it was like raw comedy. It wasn't like, to me, it wasn't like it was real life comedy, like stuff that you would experience on a daily basis. Like some of this stuff that you watch today is like it's scripted. They're
Mm-hmm.
planning out this stuff. Okay, you trip right at 30 seconds so we can make it funny. No, when you watch the Jeffersons and Good Times and the Cosby Show and A Different World and Facts of Life and all those shows, the Brady Bunch
Mm-hmm.
and Three's Company, those shows were just like funny.
Yeah, and all the punchlines were perfectly placed. Bam.
Exactly. And I loved it. And I watch it again today, like you said, like I've never seen it before, only because it's so. And you know what I think was really funny to me is the language that they were allowed to use back in the
Mm-hmm.
70s that was kind
Mm-hmm.
of degrading to both black and white culture. But at the time, it was just innocent fun.
And everybody now is so
They
sensitive.
are very sensitive. You announced the cancel culture. Don't talk about this particular topic
Mm-hmm.
because they will cancel you. You be like, you think you on Family Feud.
They added 3 or 4 more colors to the rainbow.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm done. I'm done trying to remember what all the dang letters mean. At this point, I'm just like, y'all different. That's all I got to say,
Mm-hmm.
right? I'm like, them, they, he, she, me. Listen,
Yeah.
do y'all thing. We gonna do our thing. Y'all do y'all thing. I ain't mad at none of y'all. I ain't judging nobody. You do you.
At
We do
all.
us.
At all.
Exactly. All right. So I have a few more stories. Check this out. A burglar is heading to prison for the next 2 decades after pleading guilty to burglary and molesting a 12-year-old in Cobb County.
Mm.
Malik Antonio Rollins is 29. He pleaded guilty earlier this week to burglarizing 2 homes and molesting a young girl while inside one of them. So the prosecutors say he broke into an apartment at 2 o'clock in the morning and fell asleep next to the young girl after molesting her. So the daughter wakes up. Her father comes in the room, didn't realize that the man was in the bed because he was under the covers. And she mouthed the words to her dad, "Help me." And the dad was like, "What? Huh?" And as the dad began to approach the bed where the little girl was, well, the 12-year-old girl was lying, that's when he realized that there was a man lying in the bed next to his daughter. Okay, so help me understand. What would you do?
Well, all I'm saying, if it was a second floor, you would see a man flying. For the first time, you would see a man flying without a cape,
Without
without
a
a plane.
Right. It's not a TV show. This is real life.
Right, this is real
Because he would be
life.
out the window,
And
right?
if it was the first floor, you just see, a holy man. A holy man.
I'm just saying, if I walk into my daughter's room
Mm.
and there is someone lying in the bed next to her and she is saying, "Help me," that automatically, I'm at 1,000. Bump 100, bump 10. I'm at 1,000 and it is going down. Do you hear me? And when the police come to get him, they're gonna have a hard time identifying his body.
I'd be like, bring the coroner with you.
Yes, because he is not alive. Here's the thing. This is the second apartment that he broke into. So he broke into the next door neighbor's apartment and tried to molest a little girl there, and they scared him off. But when they called the police could not find him. And that's because he was right next door. So they're thinking that he's down the street. They're looking for a man walking the streets or hiding behind buildings. No, he's laying in the bed next door to the little 12-year-old girl at the neighbor's house. Somebody got to die, and it has to be the burglar. You got to die. I'm sorry. Okay, you not walking out. And then I don't know what the dad did. Obviously, he didn't do enough because the man is in jail. So
He
no,
made it to jail.
he made it to jail. That's the problem. All right, now to the next story. That's just something to think about. It's like, ooh, these stories are crazy. All right, check this out. A 10-foot wide home in Boston was built because, check this out. Let me say it again. A 10-foot wide home was built in Boston because two brothers were gifted some land. All right. So while the one brother was away fighting in war or overseas or wherever he was, the older brother took and built himself a home on most of the land. Okay, they were supposed to divide it in half. Check this is fun. This is some funny stuff. So the brother comes back from the war. He realizes that his brother took over 75% of the land or 80% of the land that was left to them. So the brother said, "Well, I'm not going to get mad. I'm going to get even." So he built a 10-foot wide home right next to his brother's house. Okay. Now, after this story goes viral, everybody's talking about it in the news. It's crazy. He goes to sell the house because he wants to do something different. He's just tired of fighting and arguing with his brother. The 10-foot wide house sells for $1.25 million. So I have to show y'all this picture. So I'm going to share my screen because y'all absolutely have to see this. All right. So let me just show my screen. Okay. First of all, this is the house. This is the 10-foot wide house. Okay. It's not even big enough to cough without the back splash from some spit or something coming to your face, right? All right, and this is how it looks next to his brother's house. So this little house here, this little gray, greenish looking thing is the 10-foot wide home that the brother built because the family left them some land. So he took and built a little teeny house next to his brother's house because his brother took most of the land while he was away. Now, if that ain't crazy, I don't know what is. But what is crazier is that the brother sold that little 10-foot wide house for $1.25 million because it is a mouthpiece.
And it's cute.
And it is cute. All right, quickly, I want to talk about a few things. Talking about TV shows. First of all, shout out, listen, if y'all are not the Equalizer fans, you are missing out on a fantastic show. Queen Latifah is doing her thing. They have just renewed her show. The estimated cost per episode is about $2 million per episode. Blew me away when I read that, but I'm not mad because the sister is getting her coins.
She's one of the executive producers, right?
She is one of the executive producers of the show. However, shows like This Is Us has been canceled. It will not be renewed. The show is over. I kind of got tired of that show.
I got kind of burned out because it seemed like the same thing over over again.
It did. Oh, boy. Yeah. All right, but check this out. The Simpsons that has been around forever has been renewed, and the estimated cost per episode to do a Simpsons episode is $6.5 million.
Those not people.
No, $6.
That's a cartoon.
That's a cartoon, right? That's somebody animating
voiceovers and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Hell's Kitchen. I know you would like this one. Hell's Kitchen was just renewed. The estimated cost per episode to create Hell's Kitchen is $1 million. Shout out to Hell's Kitchen. My honey likes his cooking show, so you'll know. It's good to know that they will be coming on again.
Yes.
All right, Angela Bassett, St. Petersburg's own Angela Bassett, 911, one of the executive producers of the show. The show has been renewed, and it costs about $2 million per episode that they do of 911. Come on, black girl, get your coins. The Neighborhood. I love The Neighborhood with Cedric the Entertainer and I can't think of her name right now. Tashina Arnold from Martin. Tashina Arnold, they both play on the comedic episode television show The Neighborhood. I think it's a fantastic show. They have me cracking up. However, their renewal is pending. So we don't know if they'll be back, but we are crossing our fingers that they will be back on television because they are both extremely funny. Actually, the whole cast is hilarious.
A good cast.
Exactly. Dancing with the Stars was renewed. Theirs is about $1 million per show. Shark Tank is pending. $1 million. I'm sure Shark Tank will be back because after Kevin Hart was on there, that thing was funny. He was hilarious. I loved it. And last but not least, America's Got Talent. Check this out. It's pending for renewal, which I'm sure it'll be back. Yeah. But guess how much it costs per episode to do America's Got Talent?
Let me guess. 10 million? 10 million. How did I know? How did I know?
Y'all know he cheating, right? He cheating. $10 million per episode to do America's Got Talent. That is crazy. But I ain't mad at him. Shout out to all the shows that's doing their thing. The entertainment is fantastic, and we are loving it. All right, so now that we've gotten all that out the way, ladies and gentlemen, we want you to help us welcome our fantastic guest that's going to come on and talk to us about mindset coaching, spiritual coaching. She's a wellness guru. Her name is Domasha Beavers. She's the owner of Zip Mouth Motivation, LLC, and Tikia Divine, LLC. She's a native of Florida, Pinellas County. And she has a master's in higher education and loves to feed the community's knowledge. Her primary focus is total body support, mind, body, and spirit. She's a single mother of 2 boys. Shout out to the single mothers. And her target audience is the African American community. In 2018, Domasha wrote a short guide to promote the change in others called Building on the Wrong Foundation. And in the guide, Domasha talks about trials and shifts in mindset. This young lady is a powerhouse in networking and bringing people together. And currently, she's broadcasting her podcast, Zip Mouth Motivation, Fresh Insight, New Perspective with Dr. Sierra D, and new venture, Secure Exchange with Nicole Leha. Domasha is the educational director for Africa's Supporting Africans and continues to grow in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome to the show Miss Domasha Beavers.
Hello.
Hello,
Hey, everybody.
how are you? That
Good.
is good. We're so glad to have you. Welcome to Beyond the Chat. I am excited to hear about your different podcasts, your businesses, and what you're doing in the community. Just reading your bio got me all excited. Because first of all, shout out to you for being a single mom of two boys. I know that that's a whole job all by itself, right?
That's five jobs.
Exactly. And then to know that you're also helping others in the community, running your own podcast, your own business. That is fantastic. So shout out to you, but welcome to Beyond the Chat.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We appreciate you being here with us. So sorry. Let's start by having you tell us about Zip Mouth Motivation. Tell us about that.
Okay, so Ziploc really started as a podcast. I have went through a very dark time in my life, so I needed to outlet. I'm not like a big talker, so like I rarely talk at all. But so I was like, I needed an outlet where I could just get out what I felt, what I was going through. But it turned into me motivating people. Like I could never get on that mic and just say something negative. So I was always just doing podcasts about like how to better yourself, how to love yourself. But it was helping me at the same time. It was helping me at the same
That's
time.
awesome, and it's so interesting because as a little girl, my mother used to always tell me about affirmations, and she used to always
Mm.
tell me, write it down, put it on your mirror, speak it to yourself, say it out loud, and every day you add a new word. And she started doing that when I was a little girl, and I really feel like that has helped shaped me into the woman that I am today because she has always taught me to be confident and taught me to be a go getter and taught me to be positive. So I think about that when you say, motivating others. How has that helped? And you said it helped you as well. Tell us how that has helped you by motivating other people.
It keeps me balanced. It really does. I'm really a happy person. Like I'm just quiet, but I'm a very happy person. It take a lot to get me upset, but I notice like people are so angry. And so I'm trying to figure out like why everybody's so angry. So that's when I started thinking like it's their mindset. It's the perception of how they see life or the perception of what they think others see in them.
Wow.
So where do you get most of your, I guess, positive reinforcement from? What are some of your resources?
Oh man, so I read so many books. I promise I do. But I mean, my main source is prayer, meditation. That's my main source. Just praying and meditating. I like to sit in silence where there's no TV, no music, there's nothing going on. It's just me being alone with myself. And you get to kind of analyze yourself, and you should analyze yourself every day. Like, could I have handled that situation better? Should I do something different? But it has to be about you because you can't change the world without changing you.
Ooh, that's so awesome, and that is so true. I think that it's important sometimes to have that meditation time, that peaceful time, that quiet time.
Mhm.
I like to like sit in the dark. I'm not a person that likes a lot of light. I'll sit in the
Right.
dark. I work all day in the dark. I feel like my energy and my thoughts and my greatest ideas come when it's like calm and peaceful. So I love
Right.
that. And definitely listen, prayer and the Bible and reading the Bible and knowing God, you it don't get no better
Mhm.
than that. So I'm excited about you sharing that. So what can people expect, from a session, a mindset session with you?
Whew, what they can expect to cry because most people say I make them cry,
Okay.
but not intentionally. It's really you. I just produce the questions and I produce that support to let you know, like, it's okay. Like, nobody's judging you in this section. This is you finding out who you are. And so once people find out who they are, it's two things. When I found out who I really was, I was an ugly person
Mm,
inside. So coming to that realization is hurtful. It's like, dang, but they can really expect to cry, or they can expect to get things out, to start seeing life differently as to what they can control and what they can't control. And I think that's the biggest thing, because a lot of people are control freaks and they don't think they're control freaks. You know what I'm saying?
Now that is very interesting. I know myself, like I know a lot of my um hang-ups, I'll say, come from me wanting to be in control. With I don't like to, how people when you're younger you play like maybe like cops and robbers or something like that, or hide and seek. Don't put me in the closet for too long talking about you gonna come look for me, because no, I'm coming out, because no, I need to know what's going on, number
Right.
one, okay? And no, you can't, we ain't playing cops and robbers, because I don't want you to handcuff me. That's why I ain't never been to jail. I ain't mad at, whatever route God took anybody else, but I
Right.
can't go to jail because I don't want to be locked up. I don't want to be closed into them little four walls. So that's my motivation right there. And I like being in
You're
control.
so
So don't
funny.
put no handcuffs on me. Don't, and I think that I'll say that since my husband and I have been together, I think that I've learned how to be in control in different ways. And I think that that's important as well, because a lot of people think that being in control is being the loudest in the room, or being the most aggressive, or
Mhm,
being,
mhm.
the one that always got something to say. But I think control is learning, like you said, to control yourself. And that is so
That's it.
important, because when you learn how to control yourself, other people, what they're saying, what they're doing, how they're acting, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, it don't even matter.
It doesn't
I
even
love that.
matter. It doesn't even matter. Definitely. And that's a lot how I feel. People feel like I'm nonchalant, but I'm not nonchalant. It's just that I can't control what you do. I can only control me. And I can only control how I react to what you do, whether it's negative or positive. I can't control your reaction to something that I do. I can only control
That
me.
is so true.
And when we get that complete understanding, it's just like, okay, all
And
right.
you know what? And that's so awesome too, because when we are able to control ourselves, we're able to pretty much control our atmosphere, because, the way that
Exactly.
we respond and react determines our level of um, peace, right?
Of
Yeah,
peace,
because
achievement, of life.
yeah, of like
Yes,
exactly,
everything.
because what's like you said, what somebody else is doing, it has that don't have anything to do with me. So if I don't allow
Exactly.
that thing to get me upset or get me out of character, I keep my
Hmm.
peace.
Right, right. And not saying that you're perfect, because we all, jump back into those old ways sometimes. But it's a constant thing of talking to yourself like, hey, should I do this?
Right.
No, I better not. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? People think that you have to answer questions right off the bat. You can tell someone like, hey, let me think about it and I'll get back to you. They might look at you crazy because they want to
Right.
control. You know
Right.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But you're allowed to do that, and it's
You know
okay.
what? I used to work at a company, an investment company, and my supervisor, I don't care what I would ask him. I could ask him how he's doing today, or, did you eat lunch? And he will pause before he responds to me. And one day I asked him, is there a reason why you pause before you answer every single question someone asks you? And he said that he's always been taught to not be so quick to respond, to think through
Mhm.
your answers, because what you say out of your mouth is
Mhm.
life and death in the power of your tongue. And you have to be able to be responsible and accountable for what you're saying. So
Mm.
he always says, so I take a moment to play back the question in my head and think how I want to respond, so that I can make sure it's authentic and it's real and it's
Right.
true to who I am as a person. And man, I have learned so much, from that. I
Right.
think that's just
Right.
awesome.
Yeah, it is because it's very impactful when you say something, you don't mean it, and then you flip it and say, "Well, what I really meant is
Mhm.
Mhm.
this," but that person's gonna hold on to the first thing that came out of your
That is
mouth.
so very true. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So tell us
So,
about Zip Mouth. How did you get started with it? What was your motivation behind it, and how is it going?
so my motivation behind it was I wanted people to feel what I felt. You know what I'm saying? I know, like, we go through a lot of stuff. We have traumas. Trauma starts in the womb. So we're born with traumas. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, you know what? I said, God, I got to do something. You know, I got to do something. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna get a master's degree in something. I don't know. At first, it was criminal justice.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh, okay. My bachelor's degree is I have a minor in criminal justice. So I was like, okay. But then everybody was like, no, 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 no. You can't do that. You can't do that. So I was like, okay. So y'all don't think I'll be nothing good in criminal? Like, nah, the criminal's gonna take advantage of you.
You know what? That's how I feel. I'm like, nah, I can't do that because I would not be a good attorney for somebody that I know is guilty. I'd be like trying to
Right.
figure out a way
Right.
so that I'd be like giving the jury the eye, like, no, like,
Mm-mm,
put them
mm-mm,
out,
mm-mm. Yeah, that's me too. Like I can't.
I'd be like, I would not make
If
you
you
an
did it,
attorney.
you did it.
Oh
Right.
my, if I know you did it, I'm like, oh nah, you got to go down. You going down. So I'm like,
Mm-mm,
nah, I can't get into
mm-mm.
criminal justice because I would not
Can't
be
get
good at
into that.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be a therapist. And then I was like, I had a friend. She was like, I want you to come to some sessions with me of a group. And so it was so sad. Like everybody was so sad. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that.
Right.
She was like, I know you don't, because you're a real happy person, and this would kind of like traumatize you. So I was like, okay, what am I gonna
Right.
do? What am I gonna do? So I decided, okay, I got my podcast. I'm gonna do coaching because I'm finding that that's helping more. It's allowing people to. I'm not a therapist, so I'm allowing them to find the answers themselves.
Right.
I'm just giving them the questions to promote that thinking, to promote that change within them. And so, because I believe that the answers are within you, sometimes it just takes peeling back of the layers. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a coach. So I started it. I didn't know what I was doing. I decided, let me go to. I'm a school fanatic. I love school, so I'm gonna go to a class. It don't matter. So I'm like, I'm gonna go to this coaching school. I'm gonna see what they talking about. But it was everything that I had already knew. I just wasn't confident in what I was doing because it was my first time. So once I went to the coaching school, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a course. I got online, I did a mindset course. I put two of my friends and my sister in the course. So I was like, y'all gonna do this course because y'all gonna tell me where I'm messing up at. And so I did the course. It was a 6 week course. We did it every Saturday in the morning for an hour. And it was just it was just an amazing experience.
Awesome.
So I was like, I gotta share this. I gotta share this with some other people, but I'm shy. So now I'm gonna share this with some people. Because I was like, get online, talk on the what? Who finna go
Right.
live? Not me. I still don't go live that
Oh
much.
my goodness.
But then I decided like I got to get past this fear in order to say something. So I wrote the book, and then boom, there was a business, and it kind of just took off. Like most people that know me know that you can talk to me, you can confide in me, and it never goes anywhere. They know I'm gonna give you some good advice, whether it's you gonna like it or you're not gonna like it. But I'm gonna tell you the truth,
Right.
either way it go. It's just a little easier allowing people to find that strength within them that they did not think that they had, and it just comes out. I love to see the change in the people.
Go ahead. You about to say something?
So what's your preferred audience? Is it one person, a small group of people? Can you do a seminar?
I've done a seminar before that worked out really good. It was very different from me because of energies. So right after that very first large seminar, I was really sad, but it brought me back to when I was a child. And I remember when my grandmother used to say, you can't just go around praying for people and laying hands on them because you start getting the stuff that they're dealing
Yes.
with. So I realized that I had got all of those energies. They had dumped, like literally they had dumped on
Wow.
me. And even though they came out feeling good and I felt good, like, oh, I did this. But I had to remember it's some stuff I have to do afterwards. So my preferred group is the African American community because that's the community that needs it. We
Yes.
have other communities, they go to counseling, they got coaches for this and they got coaches for that, but we don't reach out to that area and so it stunts our growth. You know what I'm saying? Because we feel like we can have pain on top of pain on top of pain on top of pain and still achieve goals, but we cannot. We have to like relinquish that stuff so that we can build properly,
Absolutely.
open our mind and be
That
creative.
is so true. And I love that you touched on, just people just dumping and dumping. I think that it is important to protect our peace while
Mhm.
still being of a great service to our community. So I love that,
Right.
there's a balance there, and being able to give and at the same time protect. So how does that work being a mom of two boys? Having to provide service to, our community while still being able to maintain being a great mom to two boys.
Right. I would say the boys are just like me. They are exactly like me. They have some of their dad, but a lot of their ways, like they're real positive, real motivated. Like they're just that's just who they are. They've been with me their whole life, so it's kind of like they just I don't know. They really help me because in the times where I feel like okay, I can't do this because sometimes I feel like I can't.
Right.
Sometimes people come with heavy stuff. They're like, nope, mom, you got this. Get up. What are you doing? You ain't working. You ain't on the computer. You're not researching. You're not reading the book.
Right.
um, but I don't know. I honestly don't know how I do it. I really don't because I still do go to basketball games. I still take them to practices. I'm still at the school. I'm still doing all my normal stuff. I work a full time job. I have the business, and then Takaya Divine is me making jewelry and healthy teas and medicines and stuff like that. So I still do all of that stuff,
Yeah.
and I'm still a mom. You
And you know
know.
what? I love that you said that, you do all of that stuff. I think when you are doing what you have been called to do, it doesn't really seem like hard work, or it doesn't really seem like work at all. You feel like you are walking in your purpose, you're walking in your calling, and you're helping people. And I feel like, when you're doing what you're called to do, God gives you this extraordinary ability to remain in control, to remain, at peace, to remain like untouchable, for lack of a better word, as far as like, mental or physical. I feel like when you're doing the will of God and you're doing what you're passionate about and what you've been called to do, you just grow you become like this octopus. Like you got hand over here, hand over there, you doing this, you doing that, and it's like, I
Right.
got this. You're like superwoman. And I think that that is just super fantastic. And shout out to your boys for motivating you and encouraging you to, mom, what you doing, get up, you got things to do. Like I love that they have the same type of, attitude and spirit that you have. That's great, because when you set the atmosphere in your home, then you can take that energy and that love and that inspiration and motivation out into the world, knowing that you have this great support system at home, you have this love at home, and you can take it with you. And even though you see all these things going on out in the world, you know what's really real.
Yeah.
Right,
So I
right,
love that.
right. And that's definitely a major point because they're just always there. They're always there to keep me motivated, to keep me strong, to keep me pushing. Because a lot of people like, oh, you can't do all of this, or you got to stop doing this. You got to get some rest, and but I tell them I don't know how I really don't. I honestly don't. It just happens. Like everything just comes together. Like okay, it's done. You know what I'm saying?
So speaking of, being driven and having to keep on going, what would you say is one of your most difficult times where you felt like, you know what, I can't do this?
Let's see. I don't know. I have times like that. I'm not just
Wow.
kidding. Um, I would say probably just recently. My one of my sons plays AAU. He's in high school, and so he plays AAU. He's a Virgo, and so he does not communicate well.
Okay.
So at this time of the month, it's always busy. Like the last 2 weeks of the month, my last 2 weeks are very busy. It's like back to back. And like I said, I work an 8 hour job too in the daytime. Um, and so he was having practice like every single day, but the times were changing. And so I have Zip My Motivation podcast, and then I have my clients. And so he wasn't communicating well how the times were changing.
Right.
But before I am anything, I am a mom. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? So if something got to stop, it's going to be the business and the job, and I'm going to be a
Right.
mom. And it was so frustrating to try to like, and he goes to a school that's not by our home. So it's like I had to go all the way to Jefferson,
Mm,
Oh,
pick him up, come back another that it's a 30-minute
wow.
ride. And then like it's like 2 minutes before my show supposed to start. So I'm like getting out the car, throwing the keys to him, telling him to lock the car. I'm like running up the stairs because I live
Yeah.
upstairs. So I'm running up the stairs. I'm getting on the show. And then every time, I promise you, every time I had to do something on this computer, it did not
Mm.
work right. So now I'm emotional
Yep.
because I don't like to be
Yeah,
late.
exactly. Absolutely.
So now, and then I'm trying not to, in the inside, I want to fuss at him, but he's a kid, I can talk to him later, like, listen, I need you to understand, like, this is what I have going
Right.
on. But if I yell at him, it's not going to achieve the goal that I wanted to achieve, you
Absolutely.
know?
Absolutely.
And so it's like, I was like, you know what? I just can't. I can't. I have to let something go. And so he was like, well, I'll just stop playing basketball.
Oh, don't throw the guilt trip now.
Right, right. So now I'm sad because I feel bad because I'm like, but it just, and afterwards I explained to him, like, that really hurt me that you would want to give up your
Yeah.
dream to want to, make things a little easier for me. And I told him, I said, just sometimes things are going to be hard, and they are. And it
Right.
was really hard because I take pictures and do videos too for, certain
Mm.
things. So it seemed like it was like I just didn't get a break. I was like, I said, you know what, God, I know you told me you called me to do this, but I think you gave me the wrong calling. I don't know if this is it. Like seriously, I don't know if this is the one because this I can't live my life like this. But it worked
Nice.
out. It worked
Yeah,
out.
well,
It
that's
worked out.
awesome. That's fantastic. I'm glad that you have the determination to continue to keep going. And when people need you and you have a business to run, the enemy is always going to try to throw a monkey wrench in your plans, whether it's somebody
Mm,
from the outside or whether it's somebody from the inside or
from
whether
the
it's within
inside
your own
too.
self. Because I know times when we are doing our podcast, I'm like, oh Lord, do we have to? Is it that time? Oh God, I just want to take a nap. And it's like I get sleepy right at
Right.
5:55 and the podcast at 6. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I'm like,
Every
no, but
time.
somebody needs to hear what we're going to talk about. Somebody needs to be encouraged and motivated. All right, so
True.
Natasha, you got to get yourself together, right? You got to pick yourself
True.
up and let's get this done. And so I love that you have that mindset coach that you're determined to keep going. And sometimes we have to have those conversations with ourselves too. We're like, okay, am I supposed to be doing this because I'm tired? Okay, I'm ready to go to sleep, or I'm
Right.
I got too much going on. But I believe that it's in those times that we are pushing ourselves to say, no, I can do this and I need to get this done, because a lot of times what we do, and most of the time what we do, is not for us, it's for somebody else to see our tenacity, to see our endurance, our stamina, our motivation. And believe it or not, even when we don't know or don't see people watching, people are always
Oh yeah.
watching.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
who are your influences?
I'm gonna say my mother and my
Shout
grandma.
out to the
I,
mom and the
I'm really
grandma.
yeah,
Woo-hoo!
you- I have to say those two. Um, my mom and my grandmother have a they have a big heart. So they both always had people at their house.
Oh,
Like all the time. They was always taking care of somebody. They was always giving, but even though people say, oh, well, that's not good, but at the same time, it encouraged me to be like
right,
them, but different.
right,
They taught me what not to do, but they taught me to give of myself. Like I'm not a person that's gonna have a lot of company at my house. Growing up, it was always somebody at a
right.
house. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I've learned to love people, but love them like, okay, out here.
Here.
I've learned to give, but not give
There you
everything.
go.
So, but they really taught me, just what love is.
Absolutely. And I love that, because it's important to have a set boundaries, to have
Hmm.
balance, to know your
Hmm.
limits, to know how far your hands extend, and that you are at peace with how you are giving of yourself. Because a lot of times people will take advantage of your gifts and your giving. And when
Right.
your intentions and what your boundaries are and you stand by those, I think that people respect you more and won't take advantage of you being such a good person and having a big heart. I used to say to my husband all the time, you're just so nice, or you're too nice, you're just always being too nice. And I'm like, should I be saying that to him? Should I feel that way? And I do feel that way because I know how amazing he is at so many different things. And so
Right.
I don't want him to get burnt out giving of himself to himself and
Mhm.
giving of himself to our relationship because he's giving of himself to everybody else. And so
Exactly.
I think that, me saying that kind of helped him to understand, I guess, my perspective and where I was coming from, that yes, I want to help people, and we want to be there for people, but we have to first be there for ourselves, because if we burnt out and we tired and we dragging, we can't help nobody.
Help
Right.
nobody.
So I
Right.
love that you
Right.
said, hey, I learned a lot from mom and grandma, like how to give love, how to be there for people, but how to do it in a different way that I'm still being true and peaceful in my own space and with my own self. I think
Right.
that's extremely important.
Yeah.
Right.
And to have someone in your corner, like yourself, yeah, I can work myself till I'm, dead in the ground.
Hmm.
But just to have somebody, in my corner as you, and just to say, hey, slow down. Let's do something about work,
Mhm.
okay?
Right.
Right.
Have that fun. It gives you a time, that time to reflect and just kind of slow down and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and shift some stuff around so we can
Hmm.
have our day
Right.
every week
Right.
and just relax and release.
And I love that because that goes back to what Damasha was saying earlier in the beginning of the interview, when she was saying that she's very quiet and she likes to, no television, no radio, no outside noises or whatever. She likes to reflect and have that quiet time. I think that allows you just to think about, life, relationships,
Hmm.
perspectives, goals, things you want to do, things that are important to
Right.
you, and how you, want to show up for those different people. I always use the word intentional. I don't know why God gave that word to me, but it means so much to me. It touches my soul when I use the word intentional, because for
Right.
me, being intentional means I'm doing what I'm doing with a purpose. I'm loving you on purpose. I'm showing up for you on purpose because I want to be here for you. And when you
Right.
are in that space, and when you have that mindset, I feel like things flow so much more, they flow smoother when you are being intentional about how you show up for people. But you need that time to reflect, to see, let me check in with myself first. Let me
Right.
check in with
Right.
my mind, my soul, my body, my spirit, and see what's going on with me. And then once I check in with myself, then I can show up for you in some huge ways if I'm good within myself.
Yeah, and I always find you to be intentionally beautiful, smart, kind.
He divided.
He putting it on, girl. He putting it
Trying to end it early. Yes, but
But I love that about you. Just you do lean on being intentional and doing things with purpose.
absolutely, I think that is very
on.
important, because you do things half-heartedly when you're not really into
You're
it.
just trying to get it done.
You're just trying to get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
so talk
Right.
to us about Takaya Divine. I heard some jewelry, and what else? What else is that?
So Takai Divine is mostly a summer business. So in the summertime, I do pop up
Oh,
shops, like in a lot of different places. So I make jewelry, and like bracelets, earrings, things like that. And then I'll do like healthy teas. So like I'm pescatarian, so I don't eat meat. I only eat seafood, but like once in a while seafood, but that's the only thing I eat. Anything out the water. Um, so I do the teas, I'll do like medicines for like colds or different things like that. So
okay, so let me stop you right there for 1 second, because let me tell you something. I have tried so many different times, so many different ways to stop eating chicken. I don't see how black people don't eat chicken. Okay, let me just say that. But every time I eat chicken, I always tell my husband, I'm like, what's the little gray, little slimy thing that be hanging from the chicken when you bite into the gristle, not the gristle, but you know what I'm talking about, the little extra little,
you talking about the little
yeah,
vein, the little vein.
So every time I eat chicken, I'm like, oh my God, that's so gross. I'm never eating chicken again. And baby, it'd be 2 days. I'd be tearing some chicken up. Can't get past, I can't get past not being able to eat my chicken. So how did you become a pescatarian?
I've never been a eat meat eater. Like I never really been a meat
Okay.
eater. Even growing up, like you got Thanksgiving, I would probably only get the sides. It's just never been a thing for
Okay.
me. But I have diverticulitis, so it's where I have like ulcers in my
Okay.
intestines. And so I can't have like seeds and all this different little stuff or
Right.
whatever. But I noticed that when I ate meat, I would get sick. Not when I ate seeds or things like that, but when I ate meat, I would get sick. So I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna eat meat no more. And I just stopped.
Listen,
Just
that
like
will do it because if something makes you sick, it's
Hmm.
nothing like being sick. I'm like, I love me some chicken, but if it make
right.
me sick, it got to go. I know I used to be I used to love ice cream, and when Terry and I got together, we started eating a lot of like a sorbet and yogurt and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So I wasn't eating a lot of ice cream. And then one day I just had this like desire for a milkshake from McDonald's. Let me tell you something. That was probably about 5 years ago. And to this day, I remember it like it was yesterday. It made me so sick that I just knew I was going to be in the hospital. I mean, my stomach,
Oh my
it
goodness.
was hurting so bad. It was like, so you know how you take a rag and you wring it out and get all the
Hmm.
water out? That's
Hmm.
how my stomach felt after drinking this milkshake. Now, while I was drinking it, the milkshake was the bomb. I was
You
sipping
was
that thing
fine.
up. I'm like, I'm got my straw down in there. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. After about, I'd say about 30 minutes, my stomach was like, girl, you shouldn't have done that. And I was sick for about 2 days. And
Oh
I
my
don't think I've had a
goodness.
milkshake since, have I? And when we talk about eating ice cream, I'm like, nah, I'll eat sorbet. I'll eat a different kind of ice cream. I do not ever want that experience again. So I totally understand when it comes to like, eating meat. If it makes you sick, that is not the jam. That is not it.
Yeah, no, I'm good with the meat. And people eat chicken. Sometimes I'll look at something, I'll be like, oh, that look good, but I won't even, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, nah, I'm
Beat
good.
yourself up.
Yeah, you be messed up. Talking about something look good and then woo, and you be paying for it later, right?
Exactly,
All right, so
exactly.
what is your favorite seafood?
Oh, oh, you know what? It changed from month to month. So this month I'm like loving scallops. So I've been getting good scallops from everywhere I went and asked for them. So I'm in love with scallops.
Okay.
Next month it might be I like smoked mullet too. So
Ooh,
that's like one of my favorite
okay.
things to eat.
Now,
So
okay, tell me, do you eat oysters?
I do.
Lord have mercy. And do you eat mussels?
I
Okay, now this
do.
this gonna be the one. Okay, this gonna end the interview. If you say yes, it's over. We done. Do you eat crawfish?
No, that's the one. I can't understand why that little piece of meat in that thing. I don't want to eat that.
And that's what I be saying. I'm like, you doing all that work and you got when snapping the head. Oh my god! And then you get this little bit of meat that's inside the bottom.
I'm
Yeah,
good. They got
yeah. Nah, you
that.
can have that. Okay, we good. We good. We can keep talking now.
We're
We
good.
good.
Okay.
Okay, so tell us how do I know I put your information up on the screen for people to know how to get in contact with you. So it's zipmouthmotivationllc.com, and you can be
Mhm.
contacted on your Instagram page at Coach Damasha Katrina. And then your email is dlovelymotivation@gmail.com. And your phone number is 813-709-9048. I love it. Now, let's talk about Takai Divine for a second. Talk about jewelry. I know it's a summer business, but what's your motivation behind your pieces? Are they handmade? Do you order jewels online and put them together? Like, how does that work?
Everything is handmade. So like I make the earrings, I make the bracelets, I make the necklaces. Um, the teas, I get the herbs and then I mix them up, different teas for different
Right.
things. So if someone has like high blood pressure, if they're having a hard time sleeping, if it's a female with hormone imbalance, or you know what I'm saying, something like that. So everything is natural. Then like cough syrups, because I never gave my kids like over the counter
Okay.
medication. One of my children, he has allergies really
Hmm.
bad, but I don't give them over the counter. It's always like I'll make them a tea, or I'll make them something that's, like that would help. They love cayenne, so cayenne is really good for allergies,
Okay.
but they love cayenne on everything. So, and I'm good with them doing that. And they like turmeric, so that's really good for them.
Yes.
So mostly everything I make is like it's all natural. Everything is
That
handmade.
that is awesome. Now, talk about how you connect your wellness to your spiritual, to your mindset. Like, how do you connect those things as far as like your teas and stuff like that? But then, as far as your coaching and how you motivate people to live, a healthy life, with the wellness and the spiritual. How do you connect those things?
So spiritual, I connected. If people know me personally, like they know me on a personal level, they know I'm praying. They already know. They gonna call me in 3, 4, 5 in the morning and talk about pray because they know I'm gonna get up and
Okay.
pray. Generally, when people come to my house, they fall asleep. I don't know why. They just say it's so comfortable. When they come in the inside, it's like zen, and they go to sleep on my
Mm-hmm.
couch. So I connect with spirituality is like that's just been me my whole life.
Okay.
I've always been connected spiritually. When it comes to the wellness, then we have Takaya Divine. So that's for like cleaning things out your body, being healthy. I'm not pressing anybody, but we know the original, us original people, we weren't supposed to be eating meat and
Right.
all of that kind of stuff like that. So, but you do what you want to do, but I got some other stuff for you
Okay.
too. When it comes to the mindset, if we as a people, because that's my target audience, not that I don't have other clients, but if we as a people change our perspective and kind of peel back those layers of trauma. Like I said, the trauma starts in the womb. It starts with your grandmother, your great grandmother. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like it starts from that way back. So if we kind of like clear up some of those traumas, then we can be the creative people that we are
Yes.
and do the building that we build. So, and then just that's just the total life. You know what I'm saying? You get your mind right, you get your body right, you get your spirit right.
Hello.
You good.
Yes.
You good.
I love it.
Not saying
I love that you talk about, some of the like your grandmas back then. I remember when I was probably about 14 years old, I got the chicken pox. And I had this grandma who put me in a bathtub and put me in some collard greens. And I'm looking at her like she crazy because I'm like, how collard greens gonna clear up some chicken pox? But baby, in 2 days, I ain't had not one spot. Not I wasn't scratching. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure. So if this happens to my kids, we're gonna get us some whole bunch of bags of collard greens. And then
exactly.
I had a person that was cut over the eye, and they went to the doctor, got stitches, and they still have the scar, right?
Mhm.
Another person gets cut over the eye. Grandma say, "Go get me some cobwebs out the tree, and I'm gonna get this, get this scar healed up. Go get the cobwebs, pack it in that little cut, slit in the face. You can't even tell that the person ever had a cut." And I'm
Never
like,
had it.
"Come on now, why we can't get back to this? This is some real life interesting stuff right here. Them grandmas know what they was doing back in the day."
They
Yeah, these
know. They
doctors
definitely
they don't want
know.
these grandmas to talk to these patients because we all be healed
Because
around here.
it's taking money out of their pockets. They deem it as witchcraft when somebody come up with a remedy themselves.
Yep, agreed.
Mhm.
Agreed. So I love that you have the
Exactly.
total package, the wellness, the spiritual, the mindset. I think all of that is extremely important. So listen to all of our viewers out there. If you want to get in contact with Damasha, her information is at the bottom of the screen. You can email her. She's on Instagram at Coach Damasha Katrina, dlovelymotivation@gmail.com. Her phone number is 813-709-9048. She is the owner of Zip Mouth Motivation LLC, as well as Takaya Divine LLC. So you can get your spirit right, get your mind right. You can probably stop eating chicken. I'm going to talk to you about not eating chicken. I need help. I need Jesus and his disciples, honey. Because my baby be making some good chicken dishes, and I be like, I ain't eating no more chicken. Then he come around that corner with that curry chicken. I be like, okay, one more dish, Jesus, please help me. But yes, I love that. And I love tea. I am a tea connoisseur. Actually, we are tea connoisseurs. So I definitely want to make sure that we support you and talk to you about your tea. So we'll be in contact with you about that. But listen, to everybody that's out there that's going to watch this after this has recorded and ended, make sure you support Black businesses, Black owned businesses.
Definitely.
Coach Damasha Katrina on Instagram, she's doing it. She's helping the African American community, but open to, I'm sure, all others that are interested in whatever she has to offer spiritually, with wellness, and with mindset coaching. We have had a fantastic time interviewing you on the show today. We wish you nothing but the absolute best in all of your endeavors. Continue to be a great mom to your two boys. We wish them all the best. And we look forward to having you on the show again to talk more
Okay.
about Zip Mouth and Takaya Divine and everything that you have going on. So we're excited about having you on Beyond the Chat.
Yeah, next time bring some samples.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got y'all. Thank y'all for having me. Definitely. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, that has been our show. Again, thank you, Domasha, for agreeing to share your gifts, your talents, your business with us. We're so grateful that you have taken out time to be with us today. And listen, we're gonna be here next Sunday at 6 o'clock. Beyond the chat, we'll be back here. You never know who we're gonna have on the show, so make sure you stay tuned and stay locked because you never know what's going down on Beyond the Chat. You know what I'm saying?
Never know.
All right, so don't forget, I'm your girl, your best friend, your next door neighbor, the one and only Natasha Cash.
And I'm T-Dub.
In
the building.
I love when you say that. In the building. Damasha, we will see you soon and we will keep in contact. Thank you so much for being a part of the show.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
All right. Bye.
All right, so listen, make sure you stay tuned and stay locked. We have some amazing, amazing, amazing guests coming up on the show. We're talking to people from all over the country. We're having these conversations. We're going to have some singing. We got some trivia coming up. We got some other artists that's going to be, presenting their music. We even have a show, Fashion in Motion, July 1st. If you are in the Tampa Bay area, you are not going to want to miss the Fashion in Motion extravaganza that's going down in Tampa on July the 1st. We'll have more information as we get a little closer, but we are super excited about the show. It's going to be live entertainment. It's going to be fashion show, and it's going to be some models. It's going down. I'm just telling you right now, we got the baddest of the baddest, and it's going to be a great, fantastic, phenomenal show. And my baby will be emceeing along with Queen Sheila, my mother. They will be emceeing the show, and I'm just going to sit back and watch it all go down.
Yeah, I may even bust a couple moves.
I can't wait for you to dance because you be doing your thing when you dance.
I try.
All right. We will see you all next Sunday at 6 o'clock. So make sure you make sure you subscribe to Beyond the Chat so that you do not miss because I think next Sunday we're going to do some trivia and give away some money, honey. All right. So make sure you tell everybody about Beyond the Chat and we'll see you next Sunday. Peace.